Sorry, folks. We ran just a little bit long in Stupid O'Clock. So I'm consolidating my feces and we will run the credits right now for Last Man Standing. And I'm hoping that others besides one of my best friends will join me shortly once we hit the button for the.
Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Hello. Let me see if I can get this layout set up. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. Um, Welcome to Last Man Standing. I am Dan Hollifield. Uh, we usually are blessed with the presence of Aunt Donna. Tonight, she seems to have needed to catch up on her sleep. Also, we are oftentimes blessed with the presence of Dawn, and she also, for some reason, needs to sleep. One day I will figure out what this sleep concept is and try it out, but not before my batteries are recharged. With me tonight, I've got Joe Bachman, the artist in How should how can I say wood burning? Because a lot of people are not going to think there's artistry, but you make it so.
Pyrography.
Pyrography. That's a good word.
Not to be
Um,
confused with pornography, which is how most people read it when I type it out. But
that's also a good word, and I'll try not to get distracted. But yeah, thesis
yes,
is walking the dog, but will show up in just a bit.
and we
And
also got Paul joining us.
Paul, I'm glad you're here. I mean, you were in Stupid O'clock too, so I mean, seriously, thank you. Um, we d- we don't.
OnlyFans wood burning. If the burning lasts for more than 4 hours, please consult your physician.
If the burning lasts for more than 4 hours, you're gonna have to pay Joe an extra $20 for that piece of art.
At
And
least.
and basically, Trey is going to be infernally grateful for that wood burn for 4 hours. Okay.
Mm,
Um. Okay. Let me see if I can send Paul the link. Um. Oh, I don't have that started up on this
I
computer.
can earn. I don't know if I don't think I'm friends with Paul. Or if I am or not.
I will find out in just a second. Yes, indeed. Because Paul is one of my writers for Aphelion. And I do mean one of my writers. I mean, should be
Hmm.
much better, much more
Oh,
well
okay. Yeah, we
known
are friends.
than he is. But hey, I'm an editor. I have to edit myself.
I'm a little
That
slow on the uptake sometimes.
holding down that key is not going to do a damn thing. Um, oh, wrong program.
I sent him the link.
Okay. I am a bit slow this evening because, as you may or may not have gathered from my cryptic Facebook posts, I have been writing all day. And rather than tell me I need to do more stuff around the house, my wife has decided that me writing is more important than
Mm.
fixing the floor or buying a new kitchen or everything else she wants done. And I'm going, is that all it takes? I don't have to buy a boat. I just write every damn day. Uh, she will never watch this program. That's why I'm free to say this. Otherwise, there will be a very tiny, very angry British woman who's a very good shot because I taught her how to shoot with a 38 caliber pointed at the back of my head right now. Um,
Well, I'm at the point in my story. I'm trying to decide if the landing party is going to meet the creature, get to run across the creatures that they're having a hard time spotting with their sensors.
Joan,
Needs more metachlorians.
no. Um, Wrong universe. Um, no, Joe has. He sent me a story that knocked my socks off. I mean, seriously. I wound up barefooted unexpectedly while reading Joe's submission. And don't have the faintest idea how that happened. The dog was terribly surprised, and Lindsay was going, more laundry? Do you mind? And
Normally, I only have that effect on my wife.
hey, I'm not going there because if Trey ever hears me say something like that, she'll hold me to it. Um, and that's a very difficult hurdle to navigate. Um, there were several words that I had to choose from, and I'm not looking it up on Chat GPT. I'll tell you that right now. Um, no, Joe. The story you sent me the first time was absolutely captivating, and you had a distinction of not needing more than minimal editing.
Mm.
And Thesis did that too. I mean, sent me a story, goes, hey, here it is. I'm going, fuck, you need to learn how to use a comma, but other than that, this is perfect. And I mean, seriously, when you see this, you're gonna believe. Until you see it, you will not believe.
I'm looking forward to seeing Thesis's story in June.
Oh, yeah. Um, Paul, if you haven't gathered, I'm now the official short story editor for Aphelion because we have gone through more short story editors than Spinal Tap goes through drummers. Fortunately, we've only had 4 of ours spontaneously combust on stage. I
So we're one of
figure,
those rare people that will actually read the submission guidelines. So yes.
yes, um, reading submission guidelines gives you an instant in. And not just with me, but with every paying publisher. If you read the submission guidelines, you have already jumped like 16 hurdles that other people never knew they were there because they didn't read the submission guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the way that pro publishers go. Hey, this is first level. Do I read this? Do I throw it in the round file? If you followed the submission guidelines, your stuff doesn't get thrown in the round file.
I've been a subscriber off and on for many years of that magazine called Writer's Digest, and they have a lot of good information quite often in the magazine. So it's not always great, but you know, pretty good rag. So
Yeah, yeah. Right Everywhere is another good one.
I'm seeing that one.
That's more a website than a zine. They will advise you about people that are trying to take advantage of writers and take whatever little money we have and promise us huge profits as Stephen King level writers that will never materialize because due diligence, folks. If you ain't Stephen King, you ain't earning Stephen King money.
Be right back. I'm still
However,
listening. I'll be right back.
if you write a good enough story, you might get there eventually. You gotta be patient. You really have to be patient. Um, I'm still a very, very, very low list pro writer. I mean, I would put myself somewhere in between Z list and maybe in list, but nowhere near a list. I mean, seriously, I don't have an ego in this hunt. Um, I I write the stories I want to read that no one else has thought of writing before. Otherwise, I would have bought them. I would have read them. And one of the reasons that I run Aphelion is so I can read stuff by Joe and Thesis and Paul and what is it? Uh, Almost 1,000 other writers, and of whom 500 of which in the last 27 years have actually started to collect money for doing their writing.
Hmm.
I mean, whoa, Paul, people come and go so quickly here. Paul vanished as soon as I pulled him up. There we go. There we go.
Internet, something's freaking out. So
Oh,
I,
don't.
I was I was connected. I had to run and go do something, and my Bluetooth went away, and then I came back. That it wasn't on the stream anymore.
Well,
Weird.
I was actually I was just telling folks about
I got
how
up to low tier writer, and then everything cut off. So, but you don't
well
have to go through the whole spiel again.
um I've been blessed with having Aphelion here to gift the world with writers.
Mm.
And, You know the drill, Paul. You've been there. I mean, shit, you wouldn't even know who I was without that. Um,
Yeah. The person who or the company that published J.E. Deegan stuff, they list you on their website for what it's worth at their website. But
oh
I found that
fuck!
out. I was looking for his book Limbo Land, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was talking to him. He said, "Try this publisher that published it." I'm trying to say, "Look, just put it on Kindle," but he I don't know why he won't. But I wound up finding it today or last night in Amazon Italy, and I just paid $30 something for a book, an $11 book. So, but that's fine. I lost my original copy, and I wanted another copy badly, and so it's. I know he won't get anything from it. I think it's probably a used book. Um, but
Oh, I never even attempt to make money off of Aphelion. I mean,
oh no, I know.
seriously, I'm. It cost me $5,000 a year, basically, just to keep the magazine online and
Really?
let people Yeah, I mean, it's out of my pocket. I don't care. I'm not trying to make money. There's no ads. There's no fees. There's only the appreciation
Well,
of
what's the expense on
everyone's.
that? Is it the
Mm,
traffic you get?
no, no, no. It is keeping the the URL alive in my name
Mm-hmm.
and the web space on the server I use, which I have been using for 27 years, and they go, Dan called. We gotta fix this shit. I mean, seriously, they
You're
treat
probably their longest running client
they
at this
they
point.
treat me they treat me like I'm Alice Cooper. I mean, seriously.
And they pull up your account number, and it's probably like number 9 or something. I
Uh,
let's
7, but who's counting? Um, yeah, I mean, seriously, uh, I I actually have a hotline phone number to one of the guys that goes, "Oh my God, I get paid extra for fixing shit for you."
I was just trying to figure out what your expense is on that. Other than, I mean, your
Um,
URL shouldn't be more than $10 or so a year, and then I don't know how much your server is.
actually, no. The total expenses for the web space we use and the URL comes out to approximately 2 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and most of that is rental on the web space. The URL, I've already paid for that for the next 25 years. I mean,
and
they
whatever
they
website
offer me
you're
the
on.
deal, and I go, "What do I have to kiss, and who has to bend over?" I mean,
I mean,
seriously.
it's great having the kind of service, the customer service that you have, but it's just like I pay um, for my URL. I use Namecheap, and then I've been using recently for hosting stuff as Racknerd, and with Racknerd I pay $30 a year.
Rack nerd. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I don't know what your bandwidth is or anything like that, and but
Neither do I. I mean, and
but
I don't care about it. It's
well,
the URL is registered with Network Solutions, I do believe is the name of it. I have been dealing with them since 1995. I mean, that's 2 years before Aphelion was ever born in 1997. They have there's there's nothing these folks will not bend over backwards to do for one of their customers. I swear. Network Solutions, and this is just for the domain name. Um, the actual website is, well, the hosting company has moved from Atlanta to Seattle to I don't know where. But if I have a problem and I'll dial the phone number, I get the same little girl that I talked to in '97. And I call her a little girl because she's probably got grandchildren by now. I know I've got great grandchildren by now. Um, I was nowhere near there 9 months ago. Don't say that. Uh, but Network Solutions for the domain, and well, I guess I can say this. It's not racist or anything. Um, I contact them through America.net, and I have done since the late 1990s. They are the first people I ever got online through, even though the person that convinced me to go online shortly afterwards says, I thought you didn't want to do deathmatch in Dune. Why did you kill me? And I'm going, I didn't know it was you. It was just something that moved and I had to kill it. Um, this is the hazard of being raised in East Tennessee. Something moved, it needs to die. Um, there are so many threats. There's so little time, but yet there's so little barbecue sauce. Hey, and a good barbecue sauce covers a multitude of sins.
True.
Yeah, there there are people in New Zealand going, "Will you please stop snooping in on our family reunions? We're not supposed to cook people anymore." Hey, um, neither are my ancestors, but don't go fuck off in Cherokee if you don't want to wind up as a barbecue.
I might have to get up often. I have a thing called interstitial cystitis, and it gives you bladder problems.
Oh.
Oh,
Plus, I'm
please, please,
pouring
please, please,
I'm
go
pouring
ahead.
this all over it.
Uh,
English gave the Irish a recipe for water, and this is what they made.
yeah, but excuse me, that's holy water, and I will see that and raise you this.
Yeah, that looks. I'm not much of a connoisseur of things like that.
Um,
I'd love to find a good whiskey. I like and
It's
my favorite way to do whiskey is in Irish coffee. I will drink if you put an
oh
Irish coffee in front of me, it's gone. So
yeah,
and
that's my problem. That's my problem too. Um, and to my dismay, very few redheads ever give me a second time of day. Um, 'Cause along with Irish whiskey, um, there are a few repeat performances. Um, oh, and Lindsay is gonna so kill me. I mean, seriously, my wife is gonna hunt me down and murder me, and Nick Crockett is gonna help her because I deserve it. Um, oh God. Um,
Sorry, I just forgot I needed to submit my time for work.
Your time for work. You're not allowed to work. I
mm,
was I went to the dentist today to get my tooth cleaned, and I was flirting with the dental hygienist. She was a cutie. I couldn't help her.
I I didn't realize you were from South Georgia. Uh, Tooth cleaned. Um, huh, you down
it,
Savannah way, ain't you? Um,
it's the I think it's the English blood, English and Irish bloodline.
um,
That's all I can figure.
well, as I noted to someone else online, Georgia was the last official British colony in what became the United States. And we're still very, very British, although we are very, very Southern at the same time.
But you know the remarkable thing about the Appalachian uh, dialect, right? It was the Appalachian dialect is actually Elizabethan English.
Yeah, but there's a very, very large intermixing of Elisa. Eli- Say that again. Elizabethan Irish
Mm-hmm.
in that English.
Mm-hmm. And Scottish too.
And no, no, I mean you can hear it in the shortcuts people make as they went from the 1910s to the 1920s to the 1930s to um, when my grandparents were alive, the 1930s, 1940s, on into the 1980s. But the the language evolved. Even there, even in such a tiny subset of speakers. And this is directly applicable to not only all of Europe, but Asia and everywhere else. When you have a small gene pool of speakers of one particular language and dialect, as it evolves, there are even more throwbacks to the original that get carried over that no one actively speaking it realizes. I mean, there are Irish words and Scottish words and French words that people in Georgia say all the time, and they think they're talking, you know, somewhere between Jack Daniels and redneck dialect. Um, and those are two different dialects. Let me tell you, I
Oh yeah.
speak both of those, but not tonight. Um, but every every isolated gene pool will develop its own individual dialect spelling and pronunciation guide. You if you're not part of that, you're a flatlander, basically. You ain't from these hills, are you? And with my accent, I mean, not so nuclear built accent. If you watch Henry Cho's comedy routines, you know where my accent came from. And I go, yes, I am from around here, but I'm not going there. Not even now. Not even this time. Not the green room. No. Um, I could have green room to myself quite easily at that moment, but no. Um, no. Seriously, when you have people that are as clannish and insular as most communities in the early United States. Doesn't matter what state, you know, um, but they tend to develop local dialects that, to an outsider, sound outlandish, but that's because the outsider is outlandish, not the dialect. Uh, we we ain't trying to make ourselves hard to understand. It's just you need to learn what to kiss and win, boy. Um, oh fuck! I just channeled my grandmother on my father's side. My grandmother on my mother's side would have not been that. Um, she would say PG-13. Because Granny Griffith did not cut anybody any slack. You cross that woman, you got a long row to hoe, shall we say. You cross Granny Hollifield, and she'd cuss you out to your face, and the preacher would bless her kindly the next day. But Granny Griffith had more of the Irish and Scots and French and Turkish ancestors that allowed her to be a bit more colorful, then I'm going to publicly admit, and my little brother, who may eventually watch this sometime in the 27th century, um, will go, "Hey, I don't remember that," and I'm going, "Ask our sister; she knows." Um, I originally had a point there that I was trying to get to, but I think I've misstepped through the spider webs. Um,
That happens.
well, um, a good digression is a thing to treasure, actually, because it prompts other digressions and other changes from some strictly enforced topic, which, if we ever had a strictly enforced topic, Joe Dog would have written it, and I'm going, no. Well, I mean, I would have used other words, but no is the gist of what I would have been saying. Oh, and finally, Thesis is through eating, and he is here with us right now.
Thesis.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, and I I seriously have to thank Thesis for the story he submitted to me this week because holy fuck, you're not gonna believe how good this is when you read it. I mean, seriously, in 30 years of being an editor, I have never, I mean, well, um, Joe Bachman's, but I have seldom, if ever, gotten something this good that I read it all the way through and I go, do I dare unleash this on an unsuspecting world? Hey, if you've read Joe's story, you know exactly what I mean. Um, oh, and I do I, I do hope that Foxy is not put off
No.
from. No, I want her to send me something to read,
Oh yeah.
and I will tell her whether she's got grammar problems or whatnot, but I will also tell her if there are structural problems with the
Mhm.
story, like this villain does not make sense with that scenario, which, very seldom people actually send me a story in which the villain they've created is either so overpowered for the scenario they want their hero to undergo, or so underpowered that the hero they've created is pretty much could have been any random policeman in the universe. I mean, if you're writing this I'm gonna destroy the world villain and some cop from Monty Python could easily arrest you. there's some work that needs to be done in that plot line,
Yeah.
right? Um, but no, um, when I get a submission like yours, when I get a submission like Joe's, and I am absolutely unable to look away until I finish the entire story. I mean, seriously, unable to look away. There, in 30 years, very, very few people have been able to do that to me. And I, I, I still support them to this day. Thank you, Stephanie. Um, Stephanie Osborne and I were supposed to write a novel together, but I couldn't write fast enough. No, no, seriously. I took like 4 years to turn out 30, maybe 50 pages. Stephanie turns out 1,000 pages an hour or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
The woman is. There's a reason why she's an astronomer. She's astronomical. Um,
Female
and
Sergey.
she oh yes, Paul, you would know. Um, although Stephanie, sorry, Sergey, Stephanie's better. Not as fast, but my God, when you read anything she's written, her name, her plot, her characters stick in your mind forever.
You said what? Stephanie Owen?
Stephanie Osborne.
Oh, Osborne. She has stories on Aphelion.
Um, she had a couple of preview things from her pro works. It's best to just look her up on Amazon because
Oh, yeah.
she has been a pro writer for. Good God, I met her when she had her first book out. I'm okay. I started saying I'm getting old, but that no, Stephanie's not getting old. She's old Dan. Shut up. Um, I meet so many little girls, and they turn out to be such proficient writers, and I'm so proud, and I like to support them. But then again, I like to keep it a secret that I'm older than fucking dinosaurs and coal. Nick Tucker says I'm actually older than the Appalachian Mountains, which are older than bones evolved. Um, he's not wrong, but the house does need a lick of paint. So, oh, there's an entire story involved there about Lindsay nagging me to do household repairs about shit that's fallen in. And I'm going, hey, hey, hey! It was only built in the 1960s, not the 1760s. It can't be falling apart that quickly. And she's going, yep, fuck it is. Um, and she's not wrong. Um, this was a HUD house. Housing and Urban Development built my house from scraps left over from paying jobs. There is no 3 square feet of flooring or underflooring that is actually made out of the same wood. It's all bits and pieces of stuff that's been jigsawed together to make it a little teeny tiny house. Only, I think only the brickwork was professional. The rest of it was not even army surplus quality scrap. Seriously. Um, John wouldn't need more than about 2 ounces of serious putty to blow this damn thing entirely to bits. And with this amount of square footage, it probably should take a pound or two. But no, my house. Um, all right, when I get through rebuilding it, it'll be Walhalla again. Maybe. Depends on the paint job.
I just noticed you have your sign over your shoulder there, Bladed.
Yep. Every time I'm on camera, most of the time, it's right there. Or that side, yeah.
That's like, yeah. I do the same
side,
thing. I'm
side,
like,
my side, your side.
Yeah. Do I point this way? No, I point this way.
Go over there.
No.
Nobody watches Farscape, do they? Is that me?
I do want to say that when we interest Joe in doing something like the signs he made for Lindsay and I, or the sign he made for Thesis, you do not get half-ass work. You get the entire ass, and it's a damn pretty one.
And I have plenty to go around.
I was hoping Trey had gone to bed already before I said that.
Yeah, she's in bed. She's in bed. The cats are not, because I keep every once in a while I keep hearing as they're going up and down the hall.
Oh shit! No, Lindsay does that to me. I'll be sitting here. I'll close the door, turn the camera on, start the microphone, and start streaming, and she'll go up and down the hallway, and the dog will go up and down the hallway, and then one or more of the cats that she has decided to allow the privilege of being indoors will go up and down the hallway. And I'm just sitting here going, you do realize I'm trying to work here. This is not Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. Will you please calm down? And then the PA announcements come over, and I go, Joe Dog, shut the up.
Well, Bread. So we have a toy hanging off the bedroom door at the far end of the hallway. Because actually, from where I'm sitting directly beneath the living room. Over here would be our bedroom. Down at the other end of the hall is where my mom's bedroom was and the bathroom. Well, we hung a little toy, little fake rat on a stretchy elastic string. And I'm laying there in bed the other night, and I hear this thump smack. The fuck was that? And so I kind of lean over, and I'm looking out the door down the hallway, and here comes Bread with the toy in his mouth,
Oh.
dragging this thing down the hallway, stretching this elastic band out.
Oh.
And then it slips from his mouth, and you just hear it go smack.
Bam!
Well, then he runs back down the hall, grabs it again, this time makes it down the hall, around the corner into the living room before he lost it. So now you hear this thing come zipping back around the corner, off the wall, off the wall, off the wall, off the door.
I
With him chasing after it.
I am totally reminded of an episode of Gummer Pile where he's going, I realized one of my swish booms was missing. So I went and kicked the mortar launcher and it fired through the roof. And I'm going, Cat, you do realize that bugger is on a string, and if you drag it all the way down here, it's going to snap your head clean off quicker than Dirty Harry can use a 44 Magnum. But then you let it go for fun, so you could chase it down again. Cats are so.
Well, I don't think he was really. I don't think he was doing it so much for fun, because the other one that was on the wife's craft room door, he's ripped it off of the elastic band and then tried to scare my wife with it by hiding it behind some bags in the kitchen.
Yeah, cats don't do fun; they just do murder.
Chaos agents.
Hey! They do fun murder.
Fun murder, yeah.
Believe me, I've been owned by almost 40 cats at one time.
Wow.
Hey, you hear crazy cat ladies? They got nothing on old Dan. If I go outside, I don't even have to carry food. If I go outside, you could not hear a chainsaw next door for the purrs that I hear from my cats. I mean, it is absolutely deafening. I can't sit down because they will climb all over me. My wife goes out to feed them, and she's going, they don't move until I set all the bowls down. And I'm going, that's cause I trained them to hunt. This is tame food. This is not on the hoof. We had one cat. She's long gone now. God rest her. I had to bury her myself. Deer were afraid to walk up to the outside of the chain link fence because my little Susie went, oh, you taste great with barbecue sauce. and not only deer, but coyotes are afraid of Susie. Let me tell you, those buggers never came up in the yard. Deer were okay. Foxes walked through the yard. The pheasant, quail, whatever, walked through the yard. Susie intimidated coyotes. And she's just about, teacup size.
Hmm.
She just a normal tabby cat, and she ruled about 20 acres of forest around here. I only own two, so I'm I, I'm sure she had a contract signed with the next door neighbor so she can. But no,
Yep, got to get
um,
those right of entry permits signed.
uh, uh,
Well,
coyotes.
and actually, we're talking about a cat, so it's actually your neighbor that would have had to sign the right of entry with the cat.
With the cat,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It wouldn't
Um,
have been the cat signing; it would have been your neighbor signing. Uh,
yeah, I didn't even see the paperwork. That there was a paw print on something. I just went, okay,
oh,
give
the
it to
cat
the
just forged your
lawyer.
name.
No, the cat didn't forge my name. Um, Eventually, I had to forge the cat's name. Um, hey, there was no other way to get to that. We'll touch that treasure hunting story some other time. But um, cats are very good at digging. I'll just say no. Susie kept all of the local wildlife very respectable, respecting her territory, even though she was confined inside a chain link fence, and they weren't. They didn't come anywhere near her. Not a coyote, not a wolf, not a fox. They did not get near enough for her to reach out through the chain link and go, "Grr," 'cause she would and giggle about it. Hey, Thesis, you have no idea. Have, I'm sure there is a martial art that is patterned off of not only house cats, but predatory large felines, as well as canines. I'm it just occurred to me to add the two together. But no, there has to be a martial art that is, if you come close to me, I'm going to claw your face off and
Tiger
probably
style.
use
Yeah,
your
pretty much.
children as a litter box. Um,
Shaolin Tiger Claw. Yeah, that's pretty much the basis right
yeah.
there.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Um, Shit, my door just kind of vibrated. And the dog's the only one inside. Um, no, fuck. Now I've got a ghost cat. Um, I'll never live this down. I'll never. Oh
I have a
God.
I have a bit of a question, if you don't mind me changing the subject.
Oh no. Go for it. Go for it.
Um, I was thinking about something lately. You know, I've always read and tried to, you know, do this myself, create a good opening sentence or opening paragraph. But when I start a story, but I was thinking about that the last few days because I read a lot, and some books I enjoy do not have a good opening paragraph or sentence, or they just don't. It's not there. You could read 3 chapters before you get to where the book actually starts. What I was thinking though is, what are the expectations on that? Is that because, like, if you're approaching maybe a new subject or a new author, that you might look for that grab, but when you're reading somebody that like if you're reading Stephen King or Hugh Howey or whoever, and is that do you kind of does that expectation go away? Because a lot of times I'll read it if it doesn't snatch my attention. I'm just wondering how important it is at some point, not necessarily these like pro writers, but in any writing, if you're writing science fiction, does sometimes a reader's expectation for the science fiction is overcomes that need to grab their attention and pull them into the story?
When you reach the point that your name on the cover is actually in larger font than the title of the book, then you can stop worrying about, do I actually need to interest my reader in the story? Or is my name enough to make people go, take my money, please? No.
Yeah.
Um,
And I thought about it from that perspective also.
yeah.
I thought about it.
My opinion is that you've got 3 sentences on the first page to grab your reader's interest and keep them going. If you cannot get them interested in the first 3 sentences, you really have to work harder. If it takes you half a chapter, 2 chapters, whatever, to get that hook that keeps people coming back, well, so be it. But for really low level writers like myself, if you can't do it in the first 3 sentences, they're not going to give you their time, excuse me. They're not going to invest themselves in finding out what else you can do. You have to give them that first sentence, that first paragraph that grabs them by the throat and says, "You got to read this shit." I mean, Joe and Thesis just did this. I mean, seriously. And I hate to brag, but in 27 years of Aphelion, I very seldom get stories up to the caliber of their first efforts ever submitting something. And no, this is not butt kissing. This is someone who has been a publisher, editor, and a writer for over 30 years, going, "You bastards, how did you outdo me right then, right now, first time out of the gate? You magnificent bastards, you." Seriously.
for me, like
And
one of
Paul, you sent me wonderful stories too.
oh, I haven't yet. Dan, all I've done is the flash contest. I haven't sent you anything yet, but
You
expect
haven't
something
sent me short
soon.
stories, but
No,
I have
I will
Ian
soon.
Ian does the flash stories, and I do read everything. I mean,
I believe it.
seriously. I read
I try to read all of
everything.
Aphelion. Sometimes I can't read all of Aphelion, but I try to read all of Aphelion too. Um, but no, like
No,
when I
seriously,
was a
Paul.
kid, I read like kids novels and stuff like that until I was a teenager. But mostly, other than comic books, mostly in my house, the only reading I had, I guess, because of my father, I had encyclopedias, science books, and engineering books. We didn't have much fiction. My first real adult kind of fiction was I convinced my stepmother to get me a box set of Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern. It was like the first 3 or 4 books, starting with the Dragon Riders of Pern and all the way to the White Dragon.
All the way to White Dragon. Yes, I
Now,
know the collection.
the I
That is a very elegant
oh,
um
it's beautiful,
first step there.
but the first book I tried to read, the Dragon Riders of Pern, I couldn't get past like 10 or 20 pages. I just put it away. I tried a couple times to read it. I wanted to read it because it was about dragons, and I couldn't get into it. So it basically sat on the collection sat on my bookshelf until I guess summer, and I got really bored. There was absolutely nothing to do, and that White Dragon book, just I kept looking at it, going, I didn't want to read them out of order, and I was really hesitant to read anything else. But the White Dragon book, it kept like calling my damn name, and I picked it up, and I could not put that book down. But after I read the White Dragon, I was able to go back and read all the other books. I
That's
mean, because
because Anne took a long time to get to
it's a
what
solid
I
50
call
pages,
the
and,
narrative hook. I mean,
and
I love her work. I
oh yeah,
really do.
the
It's
ship who's
very
saying, oh, I love all her
it's
stuff.
very foundational,
Mhm.
but she took a long time to get to the point.
Well, Dragon Riders of Pern, if you get past page 50, you're in. I want to tell you another book though that went crazy popular, and some has been author called J.K. Rowling or something. I mean, nobody knows who she is even. But the Harry Potter books suck. I mean, really, I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them as a reading them. They're fun to read, but they're terrible. And that first book, the first 100 pages, are the most miserable 100 pages to try to read that I've ever
I'm
read. And then the story takes off. But
I'm
um,
I'm not trying to be negative about JK, but really the narrative hook happens in about 50 pages of book 3.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. But the great thing,
Um
and one thing I really
she,
love about,
she's an absolutely beautiful, excellent world builder.
oh yes,
They the background, the setting, the set dressing, which is something I stress in all the editorials I do that are about constructing stories, is you have to have this thing that your readers go, fuck yeah, I'm in. You have to have not only the narrative hook, but you have to have the universe it takes place in, the stage it takes place on, and every bit of furniture the set decorator for that play has chosen to make it real to you, the reader. Set, setting, set dressing. Um, the set is the world, the setting is the stage, the set dressing is the props and decorations. You you cannot write a detective story without going, okay, this is not Los Angeles, but Dashiell Hammett will forgive me for stealing San Francisco. You can't have the setting without describing everything that is in the environment, and you cannot have the set dressing without including at least one Chekhov's gun prop. Because you know when you when you write a story and you put something that obvious in the opening, if you don't use it before the ending of the story, your readers are going to feel cheated. I mean, I can't write a Marinibrium story without, oh my God, they're actually going to use a particular brand of alcohol as a major plot point in this story, or to quote one of my oh Joe, you remember my three albums that are actually live?
Hmm.
My guitar player, he wrote a Marinibrium story where there's somebody cheating at cards, and his narrator catches them. And let's just say at some point, someone has a lucky horseshoe forcibly removed from their ass. Um, um, hey, Jim is Jim Parnell is a an entire universe of his own. I mean, this guy taught me how to play bass guitar because he needed somebody that was playing rhythm section to his lead, and motherfucker can play like nobody's business. I mean, did there are guys in the Grateful Dead that go, Parnell, yeah, I wish I could do that, but no. And he's gonna give me shit if he ever watches this, and here's his name being mentioned because he's very modest. He really is. He doesn't need to be, but he really is. Um, First ran across him in my art classes at University of Georgia, and the teacher would post stuff on the wall around the classroom, and I looked at Jim's stuff and I go, "Oh fuck, I've got competition." I mean, seriously, that was my that was my first thought. Oh fuck, I've got competition. Um, he's not. I mean, my ego, as massive as it is, aside, he was a threat to my. Well, I mean, there's no other word for it but ego. I mean, and then
Pride and Prejudice.
no, we became best friends and eventually roommates. And I had a very simplistic cassette recorder that I would, upon his request, record his guitar jams on indirectly. Recording Jim playing his guitar and playing alongside Jim led to every single note of music that I have written that Joe uses on his shows and other people use on their shows and I use on mine, but it's all due to this one guy who said, I need someone to jam with. I mean, that'd be like Thesis finding one person that said, I need a sparring partner. Can you teach me how to be better? In this case, I didn't have to teach Jim how to be better. I had to teach myself from scratch how to actually do shit. And now I've got what, 9 albums on Bandcamp? Um, I could turn out one a week if I wanted to, because I'm I'm just prolific as far as music goes, and it's kind of easy to do things the way that I do. But if I were doing the live jamming thing like we used to, oh no, there's no limits there. There's no demarcation. There's nothing that would have prevented us from being possibly as famous as some contemporary artists, if not more so. But life got in the way. And Jim fell in love with the second most beautiful woman on the planet. First is Lindsay. Um, and ran off to get married to her. Tachu, believe me, you're only second because you ain't mine. All right. Um, but no, she's you would not believe how wonderful that woman is. You would not believe how wonderful Jim is. Um, this is shit I ought to write down. You know,
Mhm.
this
Should.
this belongs in tractor of introspection, not a live show. Um,
Speaking of live shows, apparently we're doing live streams for real cheap, according to the state of Indiana. So you've probably heard me mention on one of my shows recently. Indiana passed a law that all public meetings starting July 1st, 2025, must be either live streamed or recorded.
What?
And according to the fiscal impact statement that the little study that the state did, additional information. According to the Indiana Department of Administration, it costs approximately $10,000 per hour per event to live stream a meeting, as well as provide the equipment and expertise needed to run the event. We are fucking undercharging for our services here.
No shit.
where is my goddamn paycheck?
Right?
I mean, seriously.
Wait. Well, let's send the bill to Indiana. It sounds reasonable. I mean,
Indiana? No. We
To
need
me,
to send
no.
the bill. We need to send the bill to Washington. They'll never know why, but if we invoke a lawyer, they'll pay us without having to question it.
Well, I look at it this way: if they make a law, that's silly, that could pay you dividends. Take advantage of that shit. I mean, just take advantage of it.
Hey, if there was a
Show
way,
them how stupid they are. Show them how stupid they are by bankrupting their asses.
Well, here's the thing. This bill.
Believe me, if Joe Dog could use this and Stupid O'Clock to pay for Hallowcon, we'd have Hallowcon every fucking week.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They're requiring, and this is any state meetings, county, town, township, and even school board if the school board officials are elected.
Ooh, that's the hook.
Okay.
People have to be elected.
Now, it doesn't say if, like, my Parks Board meeting has to be done live. It doesn't say anything about Planning Commission. It just says the executive fiscal body, which more than likely just means town council.
Okay. I was thinking it was Trey, and that's a very executive body right there.
Well, yeah.
But shut up, Dan. You're trying to remain married.
If it actually costs $10,000 per hour per event to live stream a meeting, my little bitty town wouldn't be able to do it.
I know. And Wesley is
a troll.
The same stupid troll
really?
asshole we've seen before.
Sounds like government efficiency to me.
You shall all soon be tempted by Satan. I ain't tempted by Satan. I live with it.
I'm tempted by Satan, not Satan. Spell it correctly. I like looking like the Dread Pirate Roberts. All right. I've got a better mustache, but yeah. Goodbye, Wesley.
Bye, dipshit.
Bye, Wesley.
The
I know another Wesley Crusher. I don't like him either.
Yeah, no.
I do like Wesley Crusher.
I like Wesley Crusher.
Character.
I don't like the actor.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the actor, actually.
He's a snot. No, he's a little snot.
No. He's an abused child. And
piss off.
he's gone through a lot of bullshit to get to be as adult and responsible as he is now. And if I had gone through that, if I had gone through that, there'd be
I
an
haven't read
extra serial killer in the
I
world
haven't read
right
anything
now.
all that bad that Will Wheaton went through. I mean, he suffers from depression and stuff, but I mean,
Um, he,
he had it made on like the set of Star Trek and things like that. He was you know,
well,
his parents were there. Everybody was super nice to him on the set of Star Trek. I don't think he had that too many difficulties as a child actor. Not like a lot of them.
his his parents stole every bit of his paycheck for years. I mean, the entire time he was on Next Gen, he didn't get a dime. His mom and dad threw that away on Fast Living. He and until he was old enough to take control of his own life and his own finances, his parents ran away with his money. I mean, there are plenty of Hollywood stories just exactly like that, where a child star was the cash cow for
Oh
their
yeah,
family.
sure.
And um, what's really awesome is that not only does he still remember Trek as being one of the basic elements of what a family should be, but how to free yourself from predatory adults. Um, I'm, I don't know that I could say it better, but somebody else probably could. I'm not professional writer. I may be, but sometimes words do escape me when
Saying you're
I
not a cunning
am.
linguist.
Sir, you tempt me darkly. Um, oh, I'm not even going there.
I'm not a cunning
there,
linguist, but I
Hey,
am a master debater.
there
hey,
are
I
like
wanted to be a
there are like 16 different riposts I could make to that jab, but
I wanted to be a fisherman, but I became a masturbator instead.
Hmm.
mm, oh my God, did you hear that? My neck pop? Oh,
A little bit.
ah.
I've got music playing also in my ear really quietly, so I don't hear any extra noises.
Well, it's not my music, so it doesn't fucking count.
No,
Um,
it's a live jazz stream, really quiet, mellow piano, jazz piano.
that's
I've been trying
okay.
to get my mindset into this old like gumshoe detective kind of story, and so I
That
don't
is
listen to jazz, but it's got me listening to jazz. So
a really satisfying genre to slip into to
well, see,
write.
I want to cross over with sci-fi, and
That's easy to do,
yes,
but
the
you have to have the basis with the as I said, set, setting, set dressing, and as you pointed out, the period music that you can call upon for
oh yeah, Well, yeah, you get
topical
that.
references that people will
Philip,
get.
well, I like the Philip Marlowe, Ethan Hawke, all that kind of stuff. Even like um, oh crap, why did it pop out of my head? The Richard Garner show. I can't think of it right now.
Rockford
Which is
Files.
stupid because Rockford Files. I love Rockford Files. It's the dumbest show, but I love it. It's the greatest show.
Yeah, yep. It and he's actually in a couple of genre movies as
Mhm.
um a
I loved him
detective.
as Maverick too.
Well, fuck yeah. I mean, seriously, that's like saying, "Hey, I like Tim Curry, but only in this movie," and I'm going, "You've never seen him in these other movies?"
Oh, he was great in
Seriously,
it.
no. Um, he and I mean, Rockford Files was very instrumental in establishing a 20th century, not 19th century, sort of
Yeah,
detective
gumshoe
story
kind of thing. Yeah.
where um you have not James Garner but Hercule Poirot and Campion and um my God, why does my brain desert me at these seconds?
I would blame age, but it happens to me my entire life, so I really can't blame age. I just
I'm
I just blame that not being born with enough brain cells. That's all I can figure. For me,
I'm
for you,
I'm
I don't know. Maybe you have too many words in your head.
I'm only 70,000 years old. I mean, seriously, I haven't even reached mental age yet. Um,
Well, now I've decided that,
and
like I
and
tell people
thesis
now.
is going, oh, new life goal.
Well, now I like to tell people those aren't typos. I'm creating new words like Shakespeare.
There you go. Yeah.
I do that constantly, believe me. And my wife is British. When I make a typo, she goes, I am never cooking for you again. And I'm looking back going, but I love fish and chips.
you just
Ah,
you just tell people that you're speaking in a language that doesn't exist anymore. That's not a
Sure,
typo. That's just a word from a language that doesn't exist anymore. Look it up.
um,
Axibedalish.
Yeah.
basically, have you read the Mirrored
Oh,
Abraham stories? That is exactly
I've
what
read
I
some of
do.
them. I haven't read all of
Um,
them. Is that
uh,
possible to read all of them?
there are a few where I run out of English words for the character to use, and I go, okay, this is what they would say in their native tongue, and then I translate it into English once I figure out how pissed off they are. I mean, look, when Kajak starts nagging his spaceship's computer about what can you not do this when it's so simple, and the computer goes, I'm sorry, your mother mate's out of season. Leave me alone. I'm trying to reboot. I, and I render it in. It's not even phonetic because it's clicks and pheromones mixed together as speech, and only a universal translator can render that into something you and I can understand, except me. I am the owner of this universe. The winds of time are moving through me. Thank you, Hawkwind, for giving me the concept of everything I need to do forever and ever and ever. And thank you, McDonald. What? There's a mystery writer named McDonald, Paul, Mark, Mike. I can't get his first name. Um, Travis McGee. Um, that's the character. I, I'm, I'm, I, I'm not fluent with that universe yet. I will be, because I've got nothing else to do except retire. I've got stuff to read. Um, Travis McGee, somewhere on a boat in Florida, he has a best friend who is an absolute brainiac that helps him solve mysteries. Um, I don't have the faintest idea where the hell that was going, but it was one of these things that even indirectly influences the way that I write, because there there are things that I pull in from all of my life, and I combine that with other things that I have yet to experience, and I wind up with stuff like um the tea house sign that Thesis has behind his shoulder.
Yep.
Um, that's a perfect thing, and Joe did that for Thesis. Joe has done artistic stuff for Lindsay and I as well. We're going to be showing it off soon with chains made by Richie. And I'm going, you son of a bitch, you did not let me pay you for that. And he goes, oh, well, you sent me a whole box of books. And I'm going, books are not always enough, my friend. I want to give you money. But no, he wouldn't allow that. I mean, seriously, if I ask Thesis to create something, I want to pay Thesis. If I ask Joe to create something, I want to pay Joe. Richie goes, fuck that. I'm having too much fun being on your show. Um, what am I supposed to do? I don't have his bank account number. I can't just I can't just pay him without his permission. Although that would be a really good idea.
That would be a cool trick. Just wake up in
I
the morning.
wish I could pull that trick off, really.
I made the background on my iPad. I made that.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah. That's
It's not a picture,
Oh,
just scribbling.
Hey.
I was following a
good to
tutorial
me.
actually. I was following a tutorial on YouTube and made a really nice picture. There's more to it than that. Not a lot more. It's just a beach scene with no people or anything. It's just empty beach, water. And
Well,
it's really nice. It looks pretty though. I like it because it turned out good. I was like, wow, I did that. I usually just draw cartoons.
I
That's awesome.
actually created this background photo that I'm using, and I still need to go back and correct the windows in the
Yeah, it
TARDIS.
need to be Linux instead.
No, all all I really need is paint, and that's it. I can do.
My
Have you
normal
seen? Have you have you seen the shit that I can do in that program?
my
Um,
normal paint program is GIMP. It's my I use it to do all kinds of stuff.
I've got that
Mm-hmm.
one. I've got Critter. I've got I
Creed is
don't know what
nice.
the fuck that one is.
This used Procreate on the iPad, and Procreate is
Oh well,
really
no,
nice.
no, no. I'm married. I'm no longer allowed to procreate. Um,
I know that feeling. He was raised to never sleep with married men. Ever since I said I do, she said I don't.
well, there we go. That's where I have the advantage. I never sleep with married men. Um,
Not once. I asked too.
but but
I would like to go back
ask
since
ask Aunt Donna. Ask Dawn. Married women tend to, I won't say proposition me, but probably preposition me, because they have the intent. But uh, I do have to allow access, and Lindsay's going. $20 is $20. Go for it. Um,
that's what Donna
I'm
said the
retired.
other night.
I'm retired now. You can
Our,
tell my wife's attitude has changed since the paycheck is no longer coming in. But you know, Joe, I could use that one uh, burned on a little sign. Hey, $20 is $20. You said I had to.
I know it's getting close to the end. I just want to say I want to go back to something I was saying. J.K. Rowling she's actually good, and I appreciate her more than most people probably, because my oldest son would not read. We could not get him to read anything, and we made him sit down every day and read at least one page of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Every day he had to sit down at least one page. You've got to get through one page, and then you can go do whatever you want. It was a struggle, literally. The 100 exactly 100 pages. It was a struggle, and then he became a voracious reader after that. So
I
all my
I
children have started out reading basically with Harry Potter,
I
and it's made them
have
readers.
grandchildren who are slightly impaired, and they were introduced to not only Harry Potter, but Star Wars and several other things by video, and then demanded the books. And I went, here's my credit card, buy what you want. You're a
Well,
grandchild. I mean,
this was before the
take my money
movies.
and run.
This is
Um,
before the movies when the first movie came out.
Mm.
Um, two of my kids were in school, and we kept them out of school that day to go watch the premiere of Harry Potter.
My second oldest stepdaughter is somewhere around her 40s at the moment. I'm sorry, Michelle. I'm trying not to give away secrets. She absolutely adores the Trolls movie and anything having to do with Shining Time Station
Mm.
and the trains because she's absolutely fascinated with trains. My oldest daughter is damn near 60. My
Wow.
God, how did I get that old? And she's got children and grandchildren, and she's got her own great grandchildren. And we're still going, hey, did you see this thing that they did that time that oh you watched the episode. Okay, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to bring it back up, but that was cool and yeah. And here's the book. And she goes, she is almost demanding that if and when I am no longer with us, she gets my library. We're talking 3, maybe 4 moving vans could not shift this many books at one time. And actually, I was thinking I'd probably donate it to my high school because there will always be kids like me that the library was their their shield, their armor against all the crap that being a teenager can throw at you, especially in high school when you may not know exactly who you are yet. You may not know exactly why you are yet, but you do know there are things that you can open up and have these printed words, and they can take you to many, many alternate dimensions. And they can indirectly improve your life and teach you social skills that you will definitely need later on. But still, while doing that, they are a pathway to Ray Bradbury's Mars or Edgar Rice Burroughs' Mars or Robert Heinlein's Mars
Andy Weir's
or
Mars.
yeah, really. I mean, seriously, there are so many alternate universes out there that there are books for you to enjoy.
But
And
Dan,
there's nothing out there that will hurt you as much as trying to live without the written word. I mean, seriously, if all you got is your handheld phone, fine. Go on Kindle, download books, read,
So I
read.
have a couple thousand books on my Kindle.
I'm
I lost all my library. I had massive books, but I lost it all.
I've got oh shit! I've got 17,000 physical books.
Nice. Hey,
No,
Dan,
it,
you know they
it's
combined all
not.
those books? They combined Genesis and Ruth and Job. They combined that into one anthology now.
Yeah, but they need an editor. They really need an editor. Believe me, I've read that one before. Um, um, Job was the one that really brought me to
Job
tears.
gets naughty. Well, Job's daughters get naughty, but that book's naughty.
4-minute warning.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about it. It's just naughty.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the 4 minutes? Yes,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Solomon. Song of Solomon. That
He liked pagan women, witches, actually.
that is one of the most epic erotic poems I have ever read in my life. And I was 9.
When it was written,
No, he wrote it.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't have the nerve to describe that there. I still don't have the nerve to describe that there.
Man,
No,
I can't tell you the books I discovered in my mother's room when I was 8 and 9 years old. Magazines and stuff. But they were stories, not pictures, like Pillow Talk and things like that.
oh,
I read those things cover to cover.
I'm sorry. My dad had a complete collection of the first 10 years of a certain magazine, and
The one where boys play.
no, but it was the one that told Playboy it was time to post.
Somebody had a little hustle going on there, huh?
There you go. You're getting in the right direction. But it was the first 10
Or
years
they kept
worth.
it. They kept it in the penthouse. Is that where they kept all the magazines?
Oh my God, that too.
We.
No, and my mother's
I
going.
know too many dirty magazine names.
Where did you get all these instincts to hoard stuff? And I'm going, have you ever seen Daddy's Playboy collection? I mean, seriously, Mama. I mean, he bought the nightgowns for you, and you said, "Fuck this. I'm only gonna wear them for 30 seconds before he rips them off of me." And this pretty much describes my entire life. Not watching my parents, but becoming them as I grew. Lindsay says, and I can quote this here because she's asleep and she will never rewatch the playback. There is no reason on earth I need to spend money on sexy underwear for her because I think that her absolutely without clothing is the sexiest thing I've ever seen. Yes, Thesis, I see your head nodding. You and Foxy are on the same wavelength.
Oh yeah.
Believe me, there is nothing sexier than a woman wearing a hint of perfume and a smile and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Do I hear a amen? I mean, seriously, do do I have to invoke
Preach, preach,
do I have to invoke Red Fox here? I mean,
brother Dan.
seriously.
Oh, Red Fox, I love. That's the bluest comedian. I love Red Fox.
Oh man, um, I wish we had permission to explore the career of George Carlin, because I grew up with George Carlin.
So did
I
I.
also, I also grew up
We all did, kind of, huh?
with Rodney Dangerfield.
Mm-hmm.
Another good one.
Although Rodney started a whole lot earlier than George.
Rodney got
They
a pretty late
were
start. I'm not sure about that. Rodney Dangerfield was in his 50s when he started doing comedy.
well, um, I started seeing both of them on Tonight Show and earlier. Uh, oh God, I saw both of them on Ed Sullivan. Yes,
I
I'm
can't
that
say
old.
I
I
can't say
can
that
remember
because
when Ed Sullivan was still breathing.
yeah, Ed was
Um,
pretty much not on TV. Might have been. I don't know when did the last episodes air? I was born in '67, so even though I might have watched TV that year, I don't remember much about it.
I was born in '57, and my earliest memories start roughly 1960. Before that, I have fuzzy impressions of physical things, but not real memories. 1960 was the year I wandered 5 miles away from the house to go play with a friend of mine I'd just met in his living room, and my mom had to find me. And yeah, I was tiny. I mean, 3. I mean, seriously, my sister had just been born. I was not seeking attention. I was very trusting of people who I felt and knew in my soul could be trusted. This is not this is not something I recommend to any children in this day and age, because life is a whole lot more complicated than it was in 1960. I mean, seriously, Kennedy was still alive. Well, my mom didn't know I was because I walked off. Yeah, she showed up. And I was sitting there playing with Matchbox cars on somebody's uh ragweed ragweave carpet. You know, the ones that are made like the um what is the word I am
Potholders,
searching for?
like
The
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 rag
the
potholders.
the the pot holders. Yes, yeah, the
Mhm.
pot holders. They look like they're just hook and loop
Yep,
woven, but
they are. Yeah.
it's it's more than a little bit more complicated, but when you have an entire carpet in an oval made of something like that, and you have matchbox cars, you have the instant speed racer racetrack, even before speed racer was invented.
Yep. Yep.
uh,
Sublime.
Old Dan crosses all time streams. Uh,
I can
oh,
remember back to almost 3, and I had a severe allergy attack, and I pretty much kind of died a little bit. And I woke up. I can remember waking up in the hospital in an oxygen tent.
I'm glad you decided to stay with us.
Yeah,
Um,
it was fun, I guess. I don't remember anything before
no,
that.
I'm,
I don't remember
I,
anything before that, but I remember all kinds of stuff after that.
the earliest thing that I remember in my life was my dad and his uncle making a wooden sandbox for me and also laying out forms for some concrete company to pour us sidewalks around the house from the front porch to the back porch and the driveway itself. And a puppy dog that I only had for one day. One fucking day. Before the stupid thing ran out in traffic and got run over. This was the beginning of my having to cope with everything you love is temporary. Your family, your pets, your environment. If you are lucky enough or unlucky enough to live long enough, everything you know will change hundreds of times. How many rocket launches have we had since 1957? How many trips to the moon have we had since 1969? How many space stations have we had? How many shows has Zach done this week?
I think Elon has launched more rockets than NASA has at this point.
Yeah, but
I mean, some of them are the same rocket over and over again, but that counts.
hey, I'm not putting that down. I am not putting that down. Recycling is the way to go. It really is. I just wish that Elon would get serious
About
and do the due diligence that he has been doing and decide whether he's going to move into orbit and rule the world from there, or move to the moon and rule the world from there, or move to Mars where everybody will fucking ignore him from there because warheads can't reach that far.
Well, if a rocket can, a warhead can.
Uh, can and are willing to spend the money is a totally different thing.
Honestly, I'll be 100% honest. I wish we'd do Venus first because floating cloud cities on Venus are 100% doable.
Yes, exactly. We'd have to do something in the upper
Oh,
atmosphere
absolutely. But it's
because it's
Earth
like
normal gravity. Earth normal gravity. You have normal temperature at that level in the atmosphere. Sure, there's sulfuric acid, but shit, you're living in a battery. Big deal.
yeah, use it to generate electricity. Yeah. The only drawback is it at the surface where people will demand you go. It's 900 atmospheres of pressure and fucking outrageous melting lid temperature.
Sure.
I mean,
But
seriously, I don't
Venus is
care.
closer.
I don't care whether it's centigrade or Fahrenheit. If it can melt lead when it's sitting there,
Yeah.
this
Oh
is
yeah,
a
for sure.
little
It's a
bit
little warm
warmer
there.
than Miami.
It's a little bit warm there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's closer. Less energy expenditure to get there. Easier to have research stations floating around. Why we're not doing it is just blows my mind. We could have been there 50 years ago.
Um.
There were plans to, and it just didn't happen.
Actually, it is. Oh, I hate to malign a fellow writer who is probably always going to be more famous than me, but Burroughs created a very romantic Mars that even now, after decades of science, people will not ignore. I mean, Edgar Rice Burroughs. If you have never seen the John Carter movie, get your ass to go watch it. There's a sequel coming up. The only
Book was
reason,
better.
well, yeah, my books are better than any movie made from my books. Everybody, uh, our books are better than any movie made from our books because we have unlimited imaginations. We have unlimited budget in our mind. I can set dress the entire Marinibrium and the entire planet of Bethdish and the entire fucking solar system it sits in, 65 light years away from Earth. But there's not a single solitary soul in Hollywood that would spend $5 to pay me for that research, that knowledge. No, if they wanted to, they would steal it and title it from somebody else's work and basically screw my entire playground up. But no, no, I'm here. I've been here. I remain, and I provide a playground for writers that are just beginning to stretch their wings and writers who are really tired of the pro publisher shit and want to tell their stories on a playground. And as long as you don't break the playground equipment, you're good. If you break the swing set, I'm really gonna get mad at you. But I'll probably turn it into a rope swing over a bottomless cavern and charge double for the people that want to ride it. Um, and considering I don't charge anything to use the playground equipment now, and said charging double is kind of an empty threat. But what the fuck? Um, it's it's 1:16, folks. We've gone an hour and a quarter. Um, and no, we can, and we often do, go on for like days. But, usually that involves me going for about 72 hours and everybody else going, can we find some sexy woman to tell Dan to wake the fuck up? And that's fairly easy to do because sexy women voices, yes. Um,
And if we can't find that, we just send Joe Dog a message.
yeah, Joe Dog could just end the show whether I'm asleep or not. Trelena would say, Dan, wake up. And I would right then. I mean, with wood you couldn't burn with a solar mirror. No, I mean, oh God. Um, Dawn, Donna, Trelena, Pete, Thessaly. I mean, there are very, very few women on the face of this earth that could tempt me to attempt to be Polly. No one has. But I have Lindsay, and she's every woman I need all rolled into one. Although that sounds like a rap song right there. Um, Probably something by Sir Mix-a-Lot, or I don't know, music. I write the shit. I don't have to listen to it. Um, and if if you buy that, you'll buy this watch. Yeah. Thank you, Dawn. She does that now. She really does. If you believe that, you'll buy this watch. Um, all right. We're going to shut the stream down, which doesn't mean that anybody needs to go home. It just means we will no longer be recorded. All right? And I will say thank you very much because I appreciate all of you for being here and all of the people in the comments for being here as well, even though I'm stupid and don't throw all the comments up like Nick Tucker would. Basically, because there ain't enough beer in the universe to keep my voice from cracking. Reading all the comments. And that's weird. We didn't see Nick tonight. I mean, we did in Stupid O'Clock.
Well, he said he was signing off to try and get some sleep.
Yeah. But
which hopefully he does. I know the man's been burning the candle at both ends lately, it seems like. Not by choice either.
Nick has not slept since 1963, as far as I can tell. And it's not for lack of trying, but it was so dark. There were so many.
As for me, I don't burn the candle.
God! His wife is going to kill me now.
Right into the wax warmer.
All right. Bedtime story. We're gone. And thank you, everyone, both from Stupid O'Clock and from the regular audience of Last Man Standing. All three of you who aren't in the room at the time. We will see you at your earliest convenience. Oh, and Donna's going to have fun with that line. And actually, I think Foxy might as well. You might be hearing something about, can you learn to talk like Dan? No, that's not. That wouldn't be natural. And speaking of natural, where the fuck did I put that outro?
Good night, everybody, and go good, guys, as Chris would say.
Yes, and thank you to everyone. And you have no idea how much I appreciate each and every one of you. I may come across as some old drunk guy that chases whatever skirts are lifted, but no. I'm
glad I'm not wearing a kilt.
I'm not that old of a drunk guy that's chasing skirts. I mean, seriously. What do you mean? I was in college in the 70s. I ain't burning any bridges until after I set them on fire. Good night, people.
Good night, folks.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.